All right, hello and welcome everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastic here. And we're going to get started painting on this project. I started a couple days ago. And right now we're just continuing on with it. Going to pop open my doors so we have some air here. But other than that, the title of this live stream So the title of this live stream is There Are Lots of Things People Have Never Seen Before. And the reason for the title is I wanted to talk about, for this live stream specifically, about the idea of art and as well as coming from a content creation perspective, the idea of coming up with things that people haven't seen before. And a couple of years ago, I made a somewhat viral TikTok video, and it's not a video that I can repeat, but it was interesting enough that it got a lot of views early in TikTok days. And basically what I learned from that, all it was like putting a key to a fireplace. It was that simple. It got tons of views. I've spent more time doing paintings and things like that, and spent hundreds of hours doing paintings, and I got less view time than from that one single video about a fireplace. And the thing that was unique about it was that it was something I'd never seen before. It was a key to turn on a fireplace, but it went into the floor. And what I thought was interesting about it was this was something, I grew up in a hot city, Florida. And in Florida, there's no fireplaces because it's so darn hot. But then I realized when I made that video that there are thousands, millions of people who have experienced one of those fireplace keys because they have fireplaces. And, it occurred to me that there are lots of things that people have never seen before. And if you ever want to make viral content, if you ever want to make a viral video, it really is it can be as simple as making something that someone has never seen before and then finding how to get in front of that person. That really is some of the secrets to making a video that's viral. But of course, creating that piece can be a challenge. And that's where the idea of knowing where to find people, knowing how to get your videos in front of people, knowing where they are, making the video, that's not even the hardest part. It's a combination of a lot of factors, but at least once you know that that a lot of people have not seen a lot of things, it can kind of guide you in a direction to creating some interesting videos. So anyway, right now I'm making a color here. I'm looking for a purple, like a light purple here. My paint's dried up a little bit. What's up, Anas DK? How you doing? So right now I am doing this painting, and I'm just gonna paint in this space right here. The hardest part about this painting is the idea that I have to keep it really nice, and once I get to the corners and stuff, the corners I have to be really careful not to let too much interfere with the other areas. So how are you, Anas DK? Hope you're doing fantastic. Thank you for tuning in. There are, hundreds of thousands of live streamers on YouTube right now, but somehow you have found your way to this one. And obviously, in some way, we are in tune. I am making something that interests you, and YouTube has helped to bring us together. How fascinating is that? That's half the work is already done of meeting and connecting with other people. It's a fascinating thing to me. Fascinating. And, you know, we might not be best buddies in life going forward, but, you know, it's kind of cool, right? I find it fascinating, even though some people are born into this generation of TikTok and live streaming, but I was not. And I find it really cool that I can stream. And like, it's not like streaming is anything new, but like to be able to do this is always fascinating to me. So Mark Dietz, David, what's going on, dude? It's been a while. You've been away, dude. You're like a stranger now, pretty much. Might as well not even call you David. I might as well call you stranger, man. All right, so anyway, Alex Corey, what's going on? Grayson Monk, hello. You know, it's funny. Just today, someone was trying to convince me to go over to Kick. Kick is another streaming platform that's gotten very popular, and I was like, I can't do that. I've already got these wonderful, amazing people that tune in on my YouTube page, and you know, I was kind of hesitating. I was like, how many people can I get to possibly come see my live stream on YouTube today? And because of that, I almost tried on on Kick, but so glad that I was able to have so many people pop in just right away. How long am I going to paint today? I might paint for a couple hours actually, because each of these lines takes me about 10 to 20 minutes. So I don't know how many lines I'm going to do, but I'm just going to keep going. Sorry you've been grinding. It's wintertime. What have you been grinding? Grinding your axe so that you can have wood for the winter? What do you mean grinding? What are you grinding? I guess we all got to grind. Most people grind during the summer, though. And here we go. So, something a little different here. We are going in, getting nice and tight and right up against the line here. This is different work than I usually do because I don't always get so mechanically close. Corey, that looks long. I hope your painting looks good. Yeah, me too. You know, I feel funny saying that because, you know, when you deal with professionals and experts and like people that are incredible at what they do, you kind of kind of expect them to have this confidence that I know exactly what I'm gonna create. I have it in my mind, and this is it. Like, yes, it's gonna look great. And although I have confidence that it's gonna look good no matter what, I don't know what it's gonna actually. I still haven't decided every single color. It's possible that the center area is gonna clash, but you know what, or whatever. I don't know. I know it's gonna look good, but I don't know what level of good. Could be a low level of good. It could be a high level of good. You know what I mean? So I usually like all of my paintings. What I like to say, all of my paintings are my favorite. I love them all, but some of them I love more than others. I guess it's kind of like having a child. Having multiple children, I should say. You're not allowed to say which one's your favorite, but you know, you have one that's a favorite. So anyway, that looks super cool. Rebecca Otis, Alex Corey from South Africa, Johannesburg, amazing. Does the average South African person feel about the band De Antwoord? Because I've heard mixed things. I personally enjoy De Antwoord a lot, but I have also heard that they're, you know, not very much liked between South Afrikaans people. So I don't know. I'd love to hear your opinion on De Antwoord. I like their music videos. They're very interesting. I think their music's catchy. I love the language and like hearing their unique way of representing. Rebecca, you hope I have fun even if the colors clash. I definitely will have fun. 100%. You like my art of human anatomy. Well, I will get back to that at some point, David. For sure, I will get back to that at some point. Just right now, I need to take a break from that. Every once in a while, you just gotta like change it up, change what you do. But I really appreciate you sharing that feedback. I haven't even finished my human anatomy project, so there's still so much more. I have this one. Let me just share it with you, this piece that I've been working on. But I took a little break. I gotta go walk all the way around the room because So David, here's one project that I have that I am working on. It's not like anatomy, but it's anatomy-esque. It's an extension, right? I built up to this. So from parts of bodies into full-on body pieces. And here's another one. This one's not really I mean, I guess head is part of anatomy, but here's another piece that I finished a little while ago. I can't really put it onto the canvas right now, but it's got a lot of stuff going on. I'm hoping to have it at a gallery show coming up soon, but this is another one, a piece that you missed because you've been so busy grinding. But anyway, it looks so cool. Where am I from? I live in Los Angeles, California. What's up, Omizu? Being 100 kg. South Africa is kind of good. It's like it's hard to speak Afrikaans though. Could you buy some of my pictures? Yeah, David. Do you want to buy the originals or because the originals, they might be a little bit complicated to send, but I think I can, get some prints. I've got some prints up on Redbubble. Yeah, all the way in Sweden or Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, one of those places. Yeah, we could figure something out. Depends on which one you want. But yeah, what's the best way to contact you? If you want to email me at hazzacreative.com, I could show you some of the pieces and you can let me know which ones you want. But if you're okay with sharing your email, I can write it down and I'll get in contact with you. Or Instagram, whatever works for you. But yes, we can absolutely arrange something. Yeah, Insta. So my art Instagram is HU. Here, let me write it down. So HU. All right, so my Instagram is HUZZA Creative. So that's HUZZACREATIVE, Huzzah Creative. There's no H after the A, just HUZZA Creative. And then you could message me there, and we can figure something out. Obviously, you'll have, like, you can look through some of my paintings. Some of my paintings, I'm working on getting them on a website called Peggy. But I think if you want to do a direct purchase, we can figure that out. So anyway, yeah, that is that. But great to see you. Great to see a familiar name. And yeah, did you get that, David? Let me know. If you didn't get it, let me know. Yeah, I could definitely do more human anatomy, but that series I put on pause for a little bit to do this project. I needed to change up. Needed to change up my style a bit, refresh my mind, change my my perception of things for a little bit. But I will definitely get back to that soon. And those paper sketches, just super standard stuff. Yeah, we'll have to figure out logistics. Some of my paintings also still need time to dry, but. So Alex, you said you're going to see your sister in the UK next week. That's cool. When was the last time you got to see your sister? Are you and your sister usually pretty tight or what? I know some people may have conflicting relationships with their siblings. That's great when you can have a good one, especially, as you get older. My girlfriend has a great relationship with her brother, but when they were kids, man, I've heard stories. And and I can only imagine, what that craziness must have been like. So, since you were 6 or 7, nice. You haven't met your sister ever? Oh my goodness, dude. What am I looking forward to seeing with your sis? I mean, there's a lot to do in the UK. What part of the UK are you going to? Are you going to like London or the Cotswolds? I hear the Cotswolds are pretty nice. I mean, although I feel like the UK can get pretty boring if you've like been to a huge city like, I don't know, Sydney or Los Angeles or Manhattan. Although I feel like it could get boring. I think that it's an amazing place. London is a beautiful, amazing city to visit. Like, it's really hard to beat. It's really hard to beat Los Angeles as far as variety in things go. It's hard to beat Los Angeles. Oh yeah, so we're gonna work on this next section. So Rebecca, is that a cartoon you have? Is that a cartoon you did? My friend Omizu Paints is also a cartoon. He does some work with like various cartoon concepts, but I wouldn't call him a cartoon artist or a animator or whatever you would call it. So here we go. Safety first. I've got this nice safe razor here. Yeah, I went to London one time, and I was absolutely in awe of the city. It's a beautiful city. So I went there from Los Angeles. I'd already lived in Los Angeles for a few years. I've seen Manhattan, but just like the vibe of Los Angeles is pretty cool because everyone's like so dressed up. Everyone's so like proper. And while I don't think that that would necessarily suit me all year long, you know, it's nice to see once in a while. Nice to see a such a ancient culture. Now, I know it's funny saying that the UK is like an ancient culture, but it kind of is. I mean, it's probably like one of the oldest power civilizations that has existed. You know, the sun never sets on the British Empire. It's formerly one of the most powerful civilizations on the entire planet, the most influential, powerful, whatever civilization that the planet has ever seen. They defeated Romans and whatever. I don't actually know if they defeated Romans or what that history is, but they've been through a lot. And somehow they still have a beautiful city of London that is all around. I mean, obviously, I think China as a civilization is older than the UK, but like, you know, the UK basically conquered the world, whereas China did not have such ambitions. Luckily, China does not have such ambitions because I don't know what the world would be like if it was. But here we go. So Korean food, Nola, North Los Angeles, Talia. You don't do the art. Oh, you don't do the art. Okay, cool. Well, anyway, that's all good. Nola would be LA in a heartbeat. I am Chinese. I'm a Chinese born American artist living in Los Angeles, California. For those of you that are curious. And here we go. So
He asked me if you steamed the dumplings.
Who?
Lee.
No, I boil them.
I know, he told me, no, you shouldn't boil them. You can steam them.
Yeah, he's probably right. Careful, babe. I've got a razor.
Oh no, yikes. Hi, kitten. Hello, my sweets.
Just don't accidentally fall onto me, okay?
Okay, don't fall on my knife.
Yes. Alright. Okay. Razor is closed. Safety first, everybody. I think whenever you have objects that can be potentially harmful, you should let people know that you got them. You know what I mean? So, Chinese food is good. You know what? Where are you eating Chinese food? Because growing up in Florida, I enjoyed Chinese food, but the only Chinese food I ever had was the food that my mom would make. Now, I finally moved to Los Angeles, and although, you know, it's really difficult to, you know, beat your mom's cooking, for anybody to beat your own mom's cooking or your grandmother's or, you know, family recipe cooking, you know, no one will ever compare to that type of food. But when I finally got to Los Angeles, to California, I was like the age of 27 or 26. And it was like my first experience of like Chinese cuisine that I could get anywhere. Like all day long, I could eat every type of Asian, Chinese food, Japanese food, Korean food all day long. And it was just absolutely amazing to me. Because living in Florida, they didn't really have that growing up. I think Florida's changing a bit now. They're becoming a bit more multicultural with their food. But, you know, me growing up there, it just wasn't like that. So, living in Los Angeles, I'm very grateful for all of the amazing Asian food that's available here. I lived in Arkansas, I lived in Northern California, and it just was not available in any of those cities either. Those cities did not have great Asian food. Oh, well, actually, you know what? Let me see. I said Northern California, but I lived in a a smaller town in Northern California. So I could travel to San Francisco to get Asian food, but that would take like, an hour just to eat some dim sum, which, wasn't always worth it. So, I think it really depends on the city that you live. If you can, you gotta try some Asian food in like, a city that is just dominated, has lots of Asian people. For me, that was not Florida. Steam buns, that draw like realistic faces and people that you know. Nice, Alex. So you do realism. I do not do realist art or celebrity art. But you know what? I get it when people do. It's easy to get. It's not easy technically, but it's easy to get lots of views. It's like, people always want photos or paintings and drawings of celebrities. Like, people just love celebrities, right? Oh, I'm blocking the screen, sorry. People love celebrities. They love faces that they recognize. People more so love portraits of themselves, but in general, they love celebrities too. Fern? Okay, I could throw it away later. It's one dumpling. I'm just annoyed that no other cat ate it. They don't like my dumplings? How dare they? My cats don't like the dumplings that I made this afternoon. Calgary has the second biggest Chinatown in Canada. Yeah, okay, so I can imagine Calgary, Canada. Now that you're saying that, it probably has some amazing Chinese food. We didn't eat Chinese food in Vancouver though. Oh no, wait, we went to Montreal, never mind. Yeah, I think parts of Canada have huge, massive Asian communities. But I've never been, so I can't really speak on that.
One of the things I learned was...
You're in New Orleans. Ooh, yeah, pho's amazing. I love pho. You eat sushi first time, you hate it. Really? You could find some good Asian food in Des Moines? That's actually quite surprising. The only thing I really know about Des Moines, Iowa is that the band Slipknot is from there. Slipknot was like my high school gym music. I used to listen to them all the time before I went to the gym. Or actually at the gym, I should say. So I listened to them at the gym just because they kind of like, they would pump me up. It's my pump up music.
It's banging music.
I love this brush. This brush is perfect for this activity. Even though I am, I have to like turn my neck and stuff, but this brush creates like the perfect straight lines without picking up too much color from the line below. So today's Saturday, that's right. Poor Iowa. What? Okay. Pretty good Southeast Asian community here. You're so focused on the words that I'm saying. Oh, hey Alex, just know that like when I talk on this live stream, it's pretty much, I try to like be stream of consciousness. I try not to like hold back too much. Usually the only time I'm quiet is when I'm either like so focused on something, which is really rare, or like, I'm focused, but I've kind of trained myself to just like say what's on my mind. either I'm focused or like I'm afraid to say something. And what the things I'm afraid to say are things like, oh shoot, this is like I messed up here, you know. And then I'll catch myself. I'm like, oh, I didn't say anything. Maybe I should include that because mistakes are part of the artwork. I think it's part of the beauty, the part of the creative process. And then I'll like say it. But basically, it's like stream consciousness, dude. Like, if anybody was to pay attention to every single word I said, I'd be pretty surprised. And if they could like remember it, because I don't even remember the things I say sometimes, honestly. Like, occasionally I'll say like some things that I think are like quotable, and I'll like put it on my Instagram. But for the most part, these are like multi-hour long conversations, along with just me talking about art. Because like what I also like to do is I like to write essays on my art for Instagram, and I'll just constantly like go on, and the ideas that go onto my essays for my art on Instagram are from here. So just to let you know, this is a Rosemary Co brush. This is a short flat. I think it might be called a what do they call, a bright brush? I don't know if a bright brush has to be even shorter, but as you can tell, this is a flat brush and it's a little bit shorter, so it gives me this like they cut this like absolutely perfect. Like, look how almost amazingly perfect this brush is as far as this clean edge that allows me to do this type of work. You can't find that on many brushes. It is like perfectly cut, and any and yes, I still have to have the patience to do it, but it's just I have so much. I'm so glad that I bought this brush at some point. I don't know when I bought it, but at some point I did, obviously. So this is actually from a company in the UK called Rosemary Co. Now their brushes are a bit more expensive, but I feel they're worth the money.
No, I gave you.
Yes, I feel that they're worth the money as far as brushes go. And there's like peace of mind just to know that you're getting high quality brushes. Like, before I started investing in brushes, more expensive brushes, I would just buy any brush off of Amazon. Any company that said oil paint brushes. But what happens is not all of those companies are being honest with you, because not all those brushes are designed for oils. And the problem with oil is that oil is a very, very it creates, it can ruin materials. It's like it can ruin a brush if it's not right. And you need to have a brush that has the right types of fibers, the bristles that can handle oil. It's very rough. So anyway, line number 2, I got a little paint booger, so I'm going to try to scrape that off with this razor. Okay. And there we go. So I'm using this as my erasing pad, which is perfect for activity. Learning a lot. Cool. Thanks so much. So I'm glad you're learning. So this is a brush, a palette that I'm painting over, or a canvas that I painted previously. I don't like the painting, so I'm painting over it with all the leftover paint, because I believe that paint should go on a canvas and not in the garbage can. So I try to use as much as I can, even if it's just wasted on another canvas. I don't know. But yeah, Alex, so it seems like you're here to learn. What did you say you draw? You do realism, right? So, how would this affect your realism painting? What are some things I can talk about that you feel would be valuable in contributing to your creative process as a realist painter? Feel free to share. These are open, interactive conversations, and you're only 10. Oh, well, dude, you got a lot of work to do. A lot of stuff you can paint and work on. So, awesome. Very what's those gasps? What do you mean? Gasps? You mean gaps? What do you mean gaps? Gasps, gaps. So anybody else? Rebecca Otis. Seems like you were interested in, you know, painting as well. And, you know, a lot of things that I say, I just hope that at least out of some of the words that I say, they help to inspire, they help to motivate, they help to give ideas.
No. No.
Well, if you don't, well, what are you trying to describe? Because I know what a gasp is and I know what a gap is, but I don't know what you're talking about for this specifically. So, you know, if you want to guide my brush and tell me where to move my brush, and then you're gonna tell me where to stop, and then I can figure out what you're talking about. But, you know, communication is an important, the hole. So this hole right here? Or do you mean these white lines right here? Or do you mean these little holes that just happen to be here? Or what? Down, like right here? The hole at the bottom. This right here, right? Is that what you're talking about? That area? So anyway, this whole painting is basically a tape painting. This whole painting is basically a tape painting, and I'm starting with the outside first. The outside, so everything outside. And this is going to be a cat that I paint inside. But first I'm going to do the outside. That's it. I don't know how else to explain it. Ask clarifying questions if you need to. I don't know if that's asking a lot, but, you know, if you need clarifying questions, feel free to ask. If I'm not clear about something, definitely, you know, be like, hey, dude, I don't really get it. So, also on a previous live stream is when I started this. So if you want to go back to the previous live streams, you can actually see how this turned out from the very beginning. So this is my third live stream of this. The first live stream was at the end of one of my paintings. So when I finished this painting, just before I started this other one. Kittens. Yes, kittens. So I had finished this painting and then I started this next one. And this next one is a tape painting. I wanted to do something that didn't require too much. You know, I wanted to do something that was more like precision based. You know, if you talk too much, live streaming is a perfect thing for you to do. As long as you don't say too many things that would get you in trouble. You know? So, talking too much is a gift. And it just depends, you know, there's times when it's good to talk too much, like, you know, if you're live streaming and people are entertained by your talking. But it's not good if you're like in classroom and, you know, people are trying to study and there you are just talking. So yes, there is a time, there is a place for people who talk a lot. Yes, well, If you don't like something, don't do it. Oh no.
Rice to go with the dump.
You're making rice? Okay, cool. You know what? Occasionally, occasionally I do swear. I know I probably shouldn't say that, but it's kind of hard not to as an adult. Like, I'm just fascinated by people who never do. But yeah, swearing is bad. If you can live your life without swearing, that is amazing, and it is a gift. And you should do what your parents tell you to do, what your parents expect of you. So do not listen to me. Do not listen to a word I express here. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if you're allowed to have a YouTube at that age. Says he's 10.
No.
So I don't know. I'm not gonna tell your parents, because I don't know much about you. I don't need to know. But I don't know. I don't know how to talk to people your age. So anyway, this is I did set my channel to adults only, by the way, for the record. So if people happen to make it in here, hello, welcome. Just everybody be cognizant of who we have here. Anyway, let's see. We got a salmon color here. And what would go good with like a salmon? It's a pink, red, orange. So red, orange. I need like a blue green, a bluish green. Let's go for the blue green here. This would be good. Blue green. Let's add some of this green into here. Like a nice blue green. And this is going to be a lighter color. Yeah, it's funny. YouTube doesn't let you set like an age limit. Like, this isn't for adults, but I do have it set to not for kids. So I don't know how much more I can do to modify the age group here. So I know I have some adults here that just want to have fun and enjoy a live stream and chat. But anyway, you're welcome. It's great that you're learning. It's great that you're learning about art at your age. That is fantastic. So let's stick to that topic. Let's stick to that topic. What makes you want to learn art at your age, Alex? And I hope that's not your real name. You should not be using anything that's like your name on live stream. I don't know. Hopefully your parents know. I don't know, like, should I call like child services that they're allowing you to be on YouTube? Well, no, I mean, I think parents should be aware. You know, it's privacy. But anyway. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad about that. Okay, perfect.
Alexa,
So
set timer for 15 minutes.
Beginning captioning. 15 minutes. Starting now.
good. So, you know, it's great. You're trying to learn about art by watching on YouTube. That's amazing. Back when I was a kid, there was only one person on television that we could watch pretty much, and that was Bob Ross. Bob Ross probably comes up in every single painting live stream that has ever existed. There's probably Bob Ross is probably more famous than Pablo Picasso at this point. You know, his paintings might not sell for more, but he's definitely influenced and inspired more people than Pablo Picasso has. And I think at your age, you might not actually know who Pablo Picasso is. So, therefore, I mean, you might not either know Pablo Picasso or you might not know Bob Ross. What you like about arts is the way that people do it makes you memories. Awesome, man. That's amazing. That's amazing that you know why you enjoy art. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, it's interesting, right? Like, you're just a kid, and you find 1 second you're watching video games, and the next second you're watching someone paint, and yeah. So like, I kind of get it, but I also try to like limit my live stream. Like, I think that again, the minimum age for YouTube is 13. And fortunately, I've noticed on my analytics that it's the age of the people that come to watch aren't typically that young. Are mostly 18 plus, which I'm very glad for. But at the same time, yeah, I guess we got to learn to entertain all crowds, right? To keep conversations. Unless we totally, make our work like 18 plus, then I think in that sense, that's how we mold our channel. That's one thing, but hey, painting kittens, that's something for everybody. I gotta remember that. So, Alex, what kind of animals do you like? Do you have pets? Have you ever tried painting your pet? Have you ever tried drawing your pet? What inspires you? How about your art teachers in school? How about your art teachers in school? How do you do in your art classes? Let's talk about that. I hope your art classes go okay. When I was in school, I wasn't really into art class. The only thing I remember about my art class was one of my art classes, two of the hottest girls that I thought were at my table. That was probably the only one of the exciting things about being in art class. The girls that I found the most attractive at my school. That was probably the only reason why I enjoyed art class. That one art class. Most of my art classes I didn't really sign up for. I think this was like a mandatory art class, or like I just had to get through an art class. But yeah. You like drawing rabbits. You got like A's mostly, but you got 2 B's. Amazing, dude. Keep up with those A's. A's get rewards. Should celebrate those A's. If you don't already. Keegan, what's going on, Keegan? How are you doing today? Before we go into what am I painting, how are you doing today? What is going on in your life? And the only reason why I'm trying to ask that ahead of time is because I find myself, when I start talking, I kind of get lost and I just ramble on and totally forget that, this isn't just about my paintings, right? If I only had like a 1 hour TV show, like 2 or 3 times a week, maybe this could be just about me. But these are like multi-hour live streams, multiple times per week, and therefore I have to make this interactive. So, Keegan, what are you up to? What brings you here today? What caught your attention? Are you an artist? Are you a student studying art? You're probably, I'm guessing, in America because the time zones wouldn't work. Like a radio show. You don't have to answer this next question. I don't expect it, but I'm trying to pretend like a radio show. Where are you from? And don't answer that question. Your privacy is important, unless you just feel comfortable sharing a state or a country. But your privacy is important. It's like a radio show. Think of this like a radio show. You're calling in. You got something to say. You got something to share. Do you need me to prank call somebody? Just kidding. I don't do prank calls. Are prank calls still a thing? I don't think so, because we don't have yellow books anymore. And everybody's got caller ID now. Pretty good. You're about to be painting yourself, Florida. Amazing. What do you paint? Are you live streaming your artwork? Are you do you use oil, acrylic? Tell us about your art practice. I have probably 1,000 hours about my art practice on live streams. So I feel like me sharing it is just like monotonous, especially for some people. And I'm happy to answer questions. Again, I like to share the attention.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Thank you, Alexa. You learned science and maths in school. You draw Deku and Goku and Gojo and Toji. So you draw a lot of anime. That's amazing. Anime's a great start. I will say though, if you don't live in Japan, your hopes of, unless you're incredibly entrepreneurial and you're incredibly good and you dedicate hours upon days, upon months, upon years to the idea of drawing anime, telling stories, unless you live in Japan, you're probably not going to have a career there. But it's fun. It keeps you entertained. It gets you started in arts. I honestly never drew anime. Even when I was a kid, I never drew anime. Now, there was a time when, I guess, I don't know if this counts, when I was a kid, I would draw my Pokemon cards. Like, I had Pokemon cards, and I would just, copy those and sometimes even trace those. But, so I guess that counts as anime, doesn't it? I don't know. Alexa, is Pokemon considered anime?
From chess.com. Pokemon is not considered anime because it originated outside of Japan and was produced using a different animation style.
So Pokemon is not considered anime according to Alexa. So I technically have never drawn anime. Never got into it. I mean, occasionally I'll watch it. I'm not opposed to anime. I just As a kid, I just never drew it for whatever reason. And my art mentors that I had in my art school had also said, like, you know, if you want to draw anime, quickly stop. Unless you're going to move to Japan and try to work for an anime company in Japan and pitch all of your ideas in Japan, I guess it's impossible, like, right? If it originates outside of Japan, it's not considered anime. That's the rule. So there, Alexis said it. That's it. If you're not in Japan, you can't do anime. That's it. Well, anyway. So if you're not in Japan, basically the only thing it can ever be is a hobby. Mostly draw using pens, paint markers, Prismacolor pencils, however you're trying to get better at acrylics, so you'll be practicing. Awesome. Nice. So this is part of your art practice, is popping into live streams and checking out what the competition is doing. Just kidding. So that's amazing. You seem like a multimedia artist. You've got all sorts of materials, pens, paint markers, Prismacolor, pencils. Like, look at all those wonderful materials. So if you could pick one material and spend an entire week just practicing with that one material, which one would it be? Just out of curiosity, just for discussion's sake here. Paint markers and ballpoint pens, amazing. So Alex Corey, favorite country is Germany. I've heard good things about Germany. They don't have speed limits on their highways. My favorite country is the United States of America. And I'm very fortunate to live here in the US of A. But also, you know, I'm not that well traveled. The only other countries I've been to is the United Kingdom, Canada, and China. So, you know, if I had a preference, I'd probably prefer to live in America 9 times out of 10. The other 1 time out of 10, you know, I'd vacation to China. I'd probably live in the UK. I would consider living in the UK, but I haven't, out of the places that I've experienced, the majority of the time, I would say that I'd love to live in somewhere in the States. There's so much variety in America, so much variety. You've got mountains, you've got oceans, you've got flatland, you got deserts, you got Los Angeles, you got Hollywood, you got Manhattan, you got cities, you got everything here. So Alex, what is your favorite thing about Germany? What do you like so much about Germany? Why does that? What about Germany interests you? I know they have great cars. Los Angeles is absolutely filled with Mercedes and BMWs. Mercedes, BMW. Wonderful, wonderful vehicles. Gesundheit. So, I mean, what's my take on art schools? Do I think it's necessary for one to become an artist? And what are the advantages? Germany's cars are very good. You're just planning to save money for the cars. That's amazing. Save money. See, you got goals. How amazing is that? That at your age you have goals. You want, you love German cars, and you want to be an artist. Alexa off. You have goals. That's fantastic, dude. So, Omizu. Let's see. So Omizu asks, what is my take on art schools? So, my take on art schools is if you can easily afford it, like, and you can get into a good one, do it, right? Like, it's an advantage. No doubt that art school is an advantage because you have hours upon hours upon hours each day to explore creativity. And I think art schools are advanced enough nowadays that they're not like focused on the old way of doing things. So you could still develop a creative sense that is going to appeal to future audience abstract. I don't think art schools are limiting nowadays, especially the really good prestigious ones. So I think if you can do it, like, it's an advantage. There's no doubt that it's an advantage, especially in the traditional art scene. I can't deny that. But, I haven't gone to a prestigious art school, so, I don't really know what that's like. But as for art school, so I went to a digital art school, and, it was like an online certification degree type program. It wasn't like, a big university or anything like that. And I did it specifically to learn concept art. And I went, and I thought the most valuable thing from it wasn't really like the education, to be honest. Like, the majority of education that I think, I've taken lots of online painting courses, online drawing courses, read tons and tons of different books. They all teach basically the same fundamentals that you and I probably both know, right? Like values, color theory, composition, things like that. They all, there's really few new ways to teach it. The only thing that a school can really do, I think, is either help prepare you for a certain career, like concept art, which that was very helpful, or digital art. But also at the same time, I think the most helpful thing was having daily paint sessions and mentor sessions where I had artists that I could specifically go to that work in the business, and I could talk to them. And I feel like if I was a super dedicated student and I worked every single day and those teachers really liked me, I would have definitely been able to find a creative gaming job. I'm pretty sure I would totally believe that, but I didn't. I like my art teachers. I learned a lot from them, but my interests artistically were elsewhere. And I would do these projects, and then I would totally spend more time on a totally separate project that was unrelated to the class, and then I would ask for feedback on that project, which was, as one of my mentors told me, he's a really successful concept artist. I think he's a creative director for some big companies. He did a lot of Blizzard games and stuff. And he told me hey, listen, there's fine art, but this is how concept art is done. And, it was at that point that I kind of realized maybe I'm geared more towards fine art. My personality doesn't really work with hey, I want, 100 pages of rapid landscape paintings, and feel free to steal resources. By steal, I mean use a lot of references. That's what they like to say in art school, is references, right? And these are my mentors were people that went to art schools, so I can only assume that they carried over the methods of teaching from their art schools. Now I might not have learned everything, but that little rant was basically to say that the most valuable thing was to be around those mentors and to have constant and never-ending access to criticism, or critiques, I should say, from my peers. That was the most valuable thing. And just being in that community. And of course, again, if you're looking for specific types of jobs, I do think that if anybody was to go to a prestigious school, or even even a middle tier art school, and they totally didn't have to worry about money or whatever because of family or connections or whatever, they'd probably be more prepared, honestly. But it doesn't mean, in my opinion, that artists absolutely need it. I went to college, but I did not go to college for art. And, I feel like I didn't need to go. I mean, I went for other reasons, but I didn't really need to go because I didn't even use the degree that I got, right? It was a biology degree. I don't really need a biology degree, but I feel like biology, I mean, I guess that helped me learn a lot of things that are helpful in other areas. So, whatever. I guess that's a good example is like, what did I really use that degree for? And then it's what you do after. Although I will say, I think there's a lot of pressure for people that go to art school to be an artist and stay an artist. Whereas I feel like if you finish a degree in biology or communications or like theology or something, you don't have that same pressure that you have to be one of those. So, I don't know. I think it's important to get your bachelor's. I think, as many people that can get their bachelor's without getting into too much debt, without struggling too much, I think as many people that can get it should. But in general, I don't think it's absolutely necessary for stuff like trade schools, man. Like, if you can, from the age of like 15, work in a gallery, volunteer at a gallery, intern at galleries, maybe get like a small degree just so you can say you got it at a non-prestigious art school, and then like go back to that gallery, like you'll probably be way ahead of everybody. Plus social media and everything. Like, I have this entrepreneurial approach to a lot of things. I go on and on about this more entrepreneurial approach, in that the internet has provided so much opportunity for artists, like live streaming, all these open calls for art on the internet all over, selling prints online, digital art. And by the way, I'm not condoning this right now. I'm opposed to it, but it's not illegal. There are people that are just using AI to build businesses on the internet. AI art. I am opposed to that. Although I am mostly for AI, I'm opposed to using AI that steals people art to, create businesses. But I'm for AI for like everyday use in general. But that said, there are people doing it, and there's a lot of people. As long as it's ethical. I mean, is it ethical? I don't know. I don't think it's ethical. I don't think that's ethical. But if you do it legally, who's gonna stop you, right? Like, just whatever. But are you really gonna stick with it? Are you really gonna commit to building a large business? I know some people have. I was talking to this one guy on the internet. He's like, dude, I spend like 4 hours a week just coming up with art, posting it online, and I make a ton of money. Why would I waste my time trying to learn art? And you know what? He did make me feel bad. He made me feel bad because I would spend hours and hours on one painting, and I would make no sales on Redbubble sometimes. So, I guess there's that dilemma. This philosophical conversation here. But I guess to answer your question directly, what is my take on art schools? Good if you can do it. I don't think it's as necessary today. There's a lot of entrepreneurial ways to become an artist today. But the amount of time, the 4 years that you dedicate to art school, you can't be a lazy artist, right? If you're going to not go to art school, you got to produce and come up with good ideas. Because if your time's not spent in school, you got to work really hard. You got to have the work ethic. And then, do I think it's necessary for school? No, I don't think it's necessary. Actually, philosophically, the idea of being an artist, I think it's absolutely not necessary to become an artist. But to, be a working artist, concept art, digital art, 3D art, technical art, film, TV, video games, it's helpful. It's very helpful. It gets you connections. Find the right mentors. They can help you get jobs. But fine art, I think it just helps you get connections, helps you get ideas, helps you to focus all of your time on creating art. But look, galleries, I don't know, I think only the really, really, really prestigious galleries are really focused on, if you're like in a super early career, like you've been painting for less than, I guess if you went to college, you've been painting for at least 4 years, but if you're super early career, they want to see credentials. I don't know. But to get into galleries, like I've submitted to a handful of galleries. I've gotten a group show, and they don't ask about my education. So who knows? If you really believe in yourself, then you could probably do it without art school. But I have heard books like, you know, a lot of people say art school is not necessary, but they could also be like, you know, they wasted their time in art school, or, you know, they didn't feel prepared for whatever reason. So, uh, yeah. And what are the advantages or disadvantages of being self-taught? And by the way, I feel like that is a two-way conversation, man. Like, I know you've probably had your thoughts. And here's what I will say is I don't like to use the word self-taught as much as self-guided, because I don't think anyone actually, you know, has never watched a YouTube video, has never read a book on art, has never seen another piece of art that inspired them, and has literally just like sat down, stared at themselves in the mirror. At least no one in modern days, right? Maybe back in the day, yes, but not in modern times. That, you know, someone just sits there, stares at themselves in the mirror, and just learns and measures and figures out how to design a face all day long. I don't think anyone actually does that nowadays. Everyone's self-guided in some way. They find the art that interests them, they come up with ideas, they might take ideas from other artists, they might you know, read a book, they might watch a tutorial, but I don't consider that self-taught. I consider that self-guided. And what are the advantages? You know, I think the advantages are you can probably you can focus heavily on what your interests are. You can focus heavily on what your interests are, what you like to see, what you like to do. You can, you know, you get a lot of opportunity to find your own voice. But at the disadvantage, lack of community, which you can also find without school. Lack of a specific mentor. So, you know, I guess if you go to art school, like I said, you know, I had these mentors. They were great. It was great to watch them work. And if you could find a great art mentor to watch, that could be totally transformational for sure. And then, yeah, self-guided. You would love to go to art school. You're in college right now, but you can't do art school. Yeah, hey, I hear you. If I had a choice between, you know, spending tens of thousands of dollars on art school and tens of thousands of dollars on art supplies and, you know, expenses to live in an art city where I can do art submissions, I'd rather spend the money on art submissions and stuff. So, and art supplies. So that's just me though. But, whew, all right, ranty rant. Let's see what's next. Let's get our next color here. Let's go with an even lighter shade of this blue here. I'm gonna go even lighter using a white. Yeah, self-guided. So I think it's great to be self-guided, you know, like if you can find your own curriculum. I learned a lot of digital art from Udemy. I learned a lot of great things from Udemy. You know, you can find some great teachers on there. You won't have like live mentorship, but sometimes you can. I had this great digital art teacher. His name was Hardy Fowler, and he had these live sessions that you could go and hang out with him online, and he would just do these live paintings, and you could just watch him work live. And yeah, it was great. That was an amazing thing to see. So I think, especially for digital artists, there is the opportunity to be self-guided. I think self-guided is a little bit harder for painters because there are very few people that are like doing like live sessions online in an affordable way. Because I can get a digital art course, like they're a dime a dozen, and you get them for like $20 on Udemy. But to have a painting artist that can mentor you, I think they are usually much more expensive. Yeah, I've had the opportunity to join various art clubs, and fortunately I can like watch them through that. But you know what? I've seen a lot of a lot of great tutorials, and you have to read a lot of books and experiment a lot. Like it's expensive to do painting. More expensive to do painting than digital art, but what I think is fortunate is a lot of digital art, so you can study I think it's important to study the fundamentals, and you could use digital art for that, which helps you save money. But also make sure that digital art for the fundamentals, but once you move into painting, all you really need to know, and this is just opinion, all you really need to know once you move from digital art into like physical painting, I think, is how to mix the colors. How to work with the paint, of course. That's pretty easy, but like more so like how to get just the right color, because when you're online, I mean, there's a lot, right? You have to learn how to really draw, depending on how you use digital, because digital has so many tricks. Like you can basically take an entire photo on digital, take a photo and just literally just paint over the entire thing without changing any structures. So you don't really have to learn to draw or design or anything. You just take ideas that already exist and just like copy them. So it depends on how in depth you use your digital art studies, but yeah. Have I gone off on a tangent? I've definitely gone off on a tangent. Omizu says, nothing's more gratifying than actual painting, but that's just you. Love to do both digital and analog drawing / painting. Yeah, that's awesome. That you found your thing. 100%. 100% amazing that you found your ideas. So Keegan says that he'd love to go to art school. So Keegan, are you even are you studying art? How much time are you spending on artwork compared to school? Obviously, you probably have to do your other studies first, because that's going to be what's directly affecting you. And you know what? Like, you have to realize that the art world, like, are people's personalities geared for the art world, right? Like, requires a lot of persistence. So I actually live in Los Angeles, and I'm an actor out here. So I think some of that type of thinking has helped me prepare for art, because I'm not necessarily thinking, oh, this art gallery didn't accept me, I'm done for, I'm quitting, I'm giving up. It's just something you just got to stay consistent with. I think if you can face the personal rejections of working in film and TV, looking to make it as an actor, if you can face that, then you pretty much do okay in the art world. Or you can carry that mindset, that type of thinking, and be less emotionally affected by the potential of the art world. But I also went to a business school, and what I think I took away from business school is just this idea that this is a very unique business, and there's demand, and then there's other things, but at the end of the day, you are part of a business system, many moving pieces. So anyway, quite a lot to unravel there. Not my typical conversation. So what's up, Brody? What's up with you? And Mizu, yes, I've seen some of I saw your work today. That was an interesting spray paint project you did. And honestly, I have considered going back to digital, just because, digital, you could make so much But you know what? I've gotten so used to standing and painting that I just can't imagine myself sitting and doing digital art again. I just can't. Like, if it was the last thing and, like, you know, I could no longer paint for whatever reason, and, you know, someone was, like, paying me lots and lots of money just to do digital art, and, like, I don't know, I couldn't stand anymore, then I would, you know, totally consider doing digital art. But this is, painting is just way more rewarding for me. It feels more natural to me. But what are your thoughts, Omizu? I guess I know you're only typing, so it's harder to go on extended discussions about things you believe. But you know, what are your thoughts on art school? Did you go? How's your entrepreneurial spirit? I think if you have, I think you said your brother has a business or something. So, you know, I think if you have an entrepreneurial spirit also as an artist, an entrepreneur, that art kind of makes sense. As in what it means for an art school, for someone, if they go to art school or not. All right, so here we go. Wiping off this brush. You're not that of an artist. That's awesome, Brody. What do you feel like? If not an artist, what do you feel like? How do you feel, Brody? You want to be do you feel like an astronaut? Do you feel like an engineer? Do you feel like a famous chef, a celebrity chef? By the way, I just made some mean dumplings today. I'm very happy about my dumplings. Kat, are you cooking? Never been to art school, but you've taken a few college art classes like drawing and printing, but from a very early age, you've always been interested in art. Amazing, Omizu. You're following what the inner you wanted to do. That's great. So you feel inspired of art. Awesome, dude. What about art inspires you? How do you feel inspired? Tell us about that. Tell us what you mean by you feel inspired of art. Does it make you want to go outside and dance in a field of flowers? Does it make you want to go hug your kitty, your cat, or your dog? Does it make you want to sing in the rain? Does it make you want to do something creative? What is it about art that inspires you? What does it mean to be inspired? So many questions. Gotten you out of the chair. You haven't had hippie tendencies. Hippie tendencies. That's funny. Yeah, I met this interesting gentleman the other day. He was telling me how he was a super hippie back in like the 70s, 80s. And he's actually pretty successful now. He has like his own business, a really big successful business. And you know, he was telling me how like back in the day he would like hitchhike with other hippies and like go to communes and stuff. And I was like, dude, that's pretty wild, man. Like, and he said he never, you know, met Charles Manson, but he definitely was one of the commune hippies that would just go from place to place. Child of the 70s. Usually stand when you paint. Digital stuff has you in a chair most of the time. Yeah. You would like to draw outside, Brody. That's awesome. You think it definitely has merit, but you don't know if it's really for you. You like permanent mediums that with digital you don't have your own. You don't have to own your mistakes. Yeah. And you know, I'm not trying to like start an anti-digital movement or anything. It's just for me, digital just didn't feel good, right? Like digital for me is like too, like my inner perfectionist is just so nitpicky, right? Like my inner perfectionist is like, you know, this line, right? These little white gaps here in like a digital painting would be unacceptable to me, right? Like in a digital painting, these gaps should be perfectly spaced, like no less than 1 pixel, right? No more than 1 pixel, and you can make it perfectly spaced no more than 1 pixel. So that's my digital art mind, right? Because I know I can make it perfect. I know that, you know, this line can be the exact length and this curve can be done with a pen tool, and that, you know, these lines should never like overlap each other in color, and each one should be exactly 1 centimeter or 35 pixels. And you know, my digital mind, that's how my digital mind thinks, and it's really annoying, right? It's like overly perfectionist. And I can't get over, like when I'm doing digital art, like I can't overcome that mind. But when I do physical art, you know, it's like you can let it drive you crazy, or you can let just keep getting creative and just keep making stuff. And you just got to decide what are you looking for, babe?
The dumplings.
The dumplings are in. I didn't. I'll eat it later. The dumplings are in the bowl on the bottom. There's a big bowl on the bottom there that has all the dumplings, and they have to be cooked. There's pork and beef in them. So they have to. I don't know if you're gonna steam them. If you steam them, it might take longer, but boiling only took about 15 minutes. Okay? Just remember, there's pork and beef in them.
Can't wipe them.
No, do not mic them. You've made a monster out of paper. Dude, Omizu makes cool stuff out of paper. By the way, Omizu, I know a lot of artists don't want to come to terms with this idea. But when it comes to being an artist, I think, and you know, I'm one of the people that goes with the philosophy that the majority of artists are not actually broke. It's a myth that the majority of artists that we admire are like, you know, destitute. Like they say Vincent van Gogh never sold a painting. But the truth is that his brother bought a lot of his paintings. Now, I know that doesn't really count. That's kind of like familial support, so it doesn't really count. But he sold, I'm pretty sure he sold at least 2. He's on record sold 1. And according to some other sources, they said he's probably sold 2. But he traded paintings for resources. He sent paintings to his brother who exchanged money to him. He, you know, traded paintings with other amazing painters. So, you know, there's very few artists that were like truly, you know, broke and destitute. Basquiat, like his parents were pretty well off. I mean, you know, he tried to live like that, you know, the lifestyle of living on a street, living in a homeless way. But, you know, his parents were pretty well off and they gave him some support, but he didn't, I think he refused a lot of it.
Are you having any?
Yeah, make some extra for me. Please, and thank you. Yeah, exactly. You've probably sold more paintings than Van Gogh. Van Gogh. Like, exactly. So, you know, I think, I'm sure a lot of artists are like, I've at least sold more paintings than Van Gogh. And anyway, so we've got this. I'm trying to think of another color. Let's go. Got this dark red. I don't know if I really want to repeat a color again, but I might have to. BRB. Animatronic. You're going to make an animatronic. Yo, that's a lot. That's like engineering work, man. That's a good idea. I could do green. The only thing is this is like a very light green. There's this like, I had green in this yellow. This blue might have a tiny bit of green. This is a dark green. This is like a blue green. I have so many greens. I also have a lot of blues. So I'm trying to find something to like counterbalance that color. And I'm thinking I'm going to try to go with a purple. But not a light purple. I want to find a good purple here. Let's find a good purple color combo. All right, that's pretty good. You're not at a point where you can rely on art to support your daily life, but it definitely enhances. There you go, man. Yo, Omizu, you're doing better than most. I am at the point where, like, you know, I can't just quit things and do this, but fortunately I have other work. You know what? You just gotta build, man. Gotta build. And part of that is community, right? Like part of that really is, you know, the way I got my last art show was simply by staying in touch with people, with friends that are in the art scene, right? And I think that's such a huge part of it, even if it's online. There's a lot of it. And you know what? Like not every artist. So I know I keep talking about like shows and galleries, but like there's so many other avenues. Like if you're a digital artist, like you're probably not even worried about galleries. You know, you just want to sell digital art. You want to sell prints. You want to sell t-shirts. You know, I just want to create interesting work that people want to buy. Or that, you know, people will look at and be like, whoa, that's really interesting. You know, that's my goal as an artist. Now, obviously, I'd like to sell prints, but you know what? A lot of my paintings don't really have like a print audience because I don't do pop art. But, you know, you can have a huge advantage if you do stuff that people want, you know what I mean? Like if you do pop art, that is a huge advantage. like I saw this this really successful executive producer. He posted on Threads, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to connect with some amazing pop surrealist artists." And that's interesting to me because there is such a demand for pop art. So use that to your advantage, you know? Like, if you make pop art, that is your market advantage there. $9 to $5, that's not art related, yes. Yeah, I have part-times. I have a couple part-times. You're back from making animatronic. You like to buy an animatronic and customize it. You draw goofy stuff, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sure there's a market. It's just because I have such a variety of paintings, that's usually kind of hard to nail down, you know, specifically where they're living at. Where are they? How do I, you know, find them? That can be the challenge sometimes. But you know what? I'm not too worried about it. My main focus is, you know, I came into art, by the way, Omizu. Before I got into painting, I was focused on making content. So although artwork is primary now, it wasn't always. You know, prior to doing artwork, I was obsessed with, you know, trying to build a YouTube channel. As you can see, I've tried tons and tons of ideas. If you ever look through my videos, a lot of them are private now. Some of my older ideas that, you know, didn't work out. Or I've tried like making different channels. But, you know, fortunately, it is a multi-pronged thing that I'm working toward. Both doing the YouTube thing and I think you're doing the same thing, right? Like you have a YouTube channel and all that. Like doing the YouTube thing as well as selling art. But they both go hand in hand now pretty much. So I'm not like too obsessed over what the market for my painting is specifically. You know, I think that between working on both, I will find I will reach some of the aspirations that I'm looking for. So, Edits, how you doing, dude? How's soccer? Thanks, Brody. Thanks for the sub. You rock. Appreciate you, dude. You feel the same. Make art because you enjoy it and have a true passion for the work. I never told you I was an actor. Well, I've probably said it a couple times, but, well, now you know. The biggest thing I was in was in the Academy Award-winning movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. You could see me for a brief second. Now, in that, I'm pretty much I don't speak or anything, but you could see me. And I had the opportunity to work on it, so that was pretty cool. But I play a bartender in the show For All Mankind. You could see me on, I think it's season 3, episode 1. I'm one of the bartenders. Season 3, episode 1, I'm one of the bartenders at the Space Hotel. And if you watch the movie Knox Goes Away with Michael Keaton, I'm in the scene. I'm in one of the scenes. I'm one of the cashiers at a at a place that they go to eat lunch. And I've had the great opportunity to work on a lot of other projects, but yeah, you have to go back and watch it again. That's dope. You love that movie. Yeah, it's an amazing movie. Tomorrow you will paint the creature. All right, Brody. Dude, Brody, that is amazing. I don't know how old you are, but based on your artwork, I think you're under the age of 18. And based on that art, the picture you chose for your artwork, you don't have to share your age. Keep that private, right? But you know, if I'm wrong and you're over 18, feel free to correct me. But if you're not, then you know, don't. But the reason why I say that, the reason why I'm even bothering to say this at all, is because wherever you are, the fact that you're setting goals and you're going after it and you're like, you're holding yourself accountable by letting people know what you're gonna do. That is powerful. And you know, just keep doing that. Do that like over and over. So soccer starts next week. All right, you're excited. Have you been practicing? Tell me you've been practicing. Tell us that you've been practicing and that you're gonna be a star on the soccer team this year, right? You're one of the top players because you've been practicing all summer long. I hope. If you haven't, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, competitive sports are not for the weak. I'm not saying you're weak just because you haven't practiced, but competitive sports, you really got to be competitive. There's really no unless you become a runner. If you become a runner and you, as an adult, you can participate in various races and you still get trophies. But you know, if you're gonna be an athlete, that is a competitive environment, and you got to work at it, dude. See, not that much in July though. July is super rainy where you live. All right, man. It's all good. Well, I'm sure you will become one of the best on the team. All of your efforts will have paid off. Okay. You make creatures with long arms and legs. Awesome, Brody. How many different ways can you make creatures with long arms and legs? Let's I'm gonna offer you a challenge, Brody. I'm gonna offer you a challenge. You don't have to accept it, but I'm just gonna offer it to you now to make 100 totally different creatures with long arms and legs. So not just one, but 100. 100 different ones. Bet. And if you do it, actually, you know what? I don't know if you're able to send them to me. I don't know. It's just a personal challenge. There's no reward other than the reward itself. Unfortunately. But that's the life of an artist, right? I've made 100 paintings, and you know, I've only sold a few. But you know, that's the thing. You got to make 100 different creatures with long arms and legs. Yeah, out of the 100, at least 100 paintings that I've done, I think only a handful of them, you know, probably really have an audience that would be willing to pay good money for it. And then the other ones, I'll probably either paint over, you know, their exercises, and then yes, and then out of those few limited ones, they've been purchased. But I think a lot of my early works too. Hey, take care, Mark. Take care. Good night. Good night, friend. Brody, that's a great idea. Do whatever you feel will help keep you motivated to accomplish this. But that's the challenge. 100 creatures with long arms and legs. 100. So let's move on. I didn't even know Mark was here. Mark, thanks for just like being here and just watching. I really appreciate that. I know I could ramble. I can't see who's in the room, so you know, I hope no one ever feels like, hey, why isn't he talking to me? I'm sure Mark would never feel that way, but because he would just say something. But for anyone that is, I think I am fortunate that my room is still, this room, my live streams are still small enough at this point that I have the opportunity to interact with just about everybody. And I don't know if that'll change one day, but for now it is what it is. So, you know, nobody has to be shy. Nobody has to worry about rejection, even if you're a troll. You know, I think I'm pretty nice to trolls. I like to give trolls therapy. Help you get on with your life and move on from trolling to something better. From trolling to rolling. Rolling on with life. You'll do 10 a day. Powerful, Brody. All right. Love it, dude. You're going to do great things. Can't wait to see what you come up with. I'm sure they will be brilliant. You'll be a master of creatures by the time you're done with this. Slow your troll. Yeah. Busior fam. It's been a while. How are you? I know I recognize that name. I guess my people that are returning are only watching on weekends now, huh? I guess my weekday streams are a little bit are not at the right time. You know what's interesting is right now, I've almost, anytime I use red for a background of a painting, somehow it always turns out to be this like Pepto-Bismol pink. But for whatever reason now, this time when I'm using red, somehow it turns out to be like this salmon-y color. I don't know what it is about it, but I want to try to bring back that pink. Pepto-Bismol pink. Let's try to find that color. Here we go. Troll. Amizu. Hey, take care, dude. Take care, my friend. Oh, this is like almost the same. No, I mean it's a little bit different. This is definitely a different shade. I want to add more white just to separate it a little bit from this other pink. No, not at all, babe. Look how pink it is. It's pink. You need at least... I boiled it straight for like 15 minutes. If you're steaming it, it's going to need much more time. Because there's pork in there, too.
I know. It said you only had to steam it for like 10 to 20 minutes.
Who said that?
The internet.
No, it's pink. Let me see it. Look, yeah, it's pink. Yeah, you need it.
Hungry.
Maybe boil it at this point. Just boil it for another 10 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you. All right, next stage. Yeah, I don't know. I guess this is pretty much the stages. Just peeling off the tape and then painting the next layer. Peeling off the tape and painting the next layer. I am a robot painter. What'd you say, babe?
We're stuck to this thing.
Dude, babe, I put so much time into those dumplings.
I wish you'd cooked more.
Just boil them. You should just listen to me and boil them.
Well, I was listening to Lee. He cooks them all the time. He was telling me I should steam them.
Well, call him and ask him for his help. I don't know.
Sorry. Don't be mad at me. I'm just gonna cook them.
Yeah, but if they were like, you know, straight from the store, but I spent a lot of time hand folding each and every single
I
one.
know. I told him all that. I didn't tell him they were frozen in a package.
Yeah, but you also should know that you gotta oil the thing if you're gonna steam it.
Well, I don't know anything about this. I'm never gonna try this again.
Babe, you know that you have to oil a pan before you put stuff in it. And plus, you said you were gonna make chili.
You told me not to make it.
I didn't say that. I did not say don't make chili. I don't know how you came to that conclusion.
Your exact words were, you don't have to make chili tonight. Why don't you make it tomorrow? We'll have it for lunch.
All right. Well, hey, home reality drama, everybody. The struggles of people living together. Anyway, let's see. What am I basically painting? So, basically, this is a cat playing with something. Adding more context to this, this is in a style, a striped style, where we're using hard edge. So adding to that idea, hard edge. So hard edge is a style of painting where everything is a very hard edge. So basically, you know, all these lines, you could see exactly where the line ends. There's no soft edges. So Brody, I don't know if you know the difference between a hard edge and a soft edge. Do you know the difference between a hard edge and a soft edge? Even if you do, I'll explain it again anyway, because if anybody's watching and they don't know in the future. So a hard edge is basically any of these edges, right? It's hard. You see the exact space where one color separates from the other. A soft edge is usually like on a curve. So, you know, if you look on a sphere, if you look at a spherical object like a ball, what you're going to see is that the change in light and shadow slowly changes from one side to the other. It's not a hard edge. You can't put hard edges on a sphere if you want it to look like a regular sphere, mainly because it doesn't have hard edges. It's not like, okay, so I guess a better example is think of a sphere versus a cube. If you look at a cube or a sphere, you're going to see a light, and you're going to see like it slowly get darker and darker around the edges. But if you're looking at a cube, you're going to see one part that's light and then other parts that have a lot more shadow. So that's like it's the hard edge versus the soft edge, whatever. So this is a hard edge painting where all of the edges are hard. Like you can physically see exactly where one edge starts and the other begins. You can see the exact separation of color areas, yada yada yada. I don't know where that came from. Who invented the term yada yada yada? I don't know. But
Seinfeld.
huh?
Seinfeld.
Oh, is that Seinfeld? Okay, so Seinfeld invented yada yada yada. But anyway. But there's a style, this is a specific form of hard edge painting. Basically, I'm just doing stripes of paint all the way across. And then I'm going to change the colors on the cat. So the difference, you're going to see the cat not because of me painting the cat, but because of, I mean, I am going to paint the cat, but you're going to see it because the lines are going to be different colors than what's below it. So that's how it's going to look different. And it's going to be probably visually distracting, in the sense that it's going to be confusing. Like, is it a cat or is it just part of the stripes? Like, it's going to be like an illusion type of painting. And can you believe I've been painting for 2 hours now, and I only got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stripes? Which means this takes about 20 minutes per stripe. I mean, it could also be that I'm doing a lot of talking too, which, you know, doesn't necessarily help, but what toy, a ball, a butterfly? You know, that's up for you to interpret, honestly. It's right here, you kind of see the shape of it. But it's whatever you want it to be. Whatever you could dream it to be, it is. That is up for you to decide. If you decide that you want to buy this painting and you want to hang it on the wall, and you want to tell everybody that it's a snowman, you could do that. If you want to hang it on your wall and tell everybody that it is a Superman doll, you can do that. If you want to hang it on your wall and tell everybody that it is a symbol of peace and harmony, you can do that. It can be whatever it is that you decide it is once you buy it, because I'm not telling what I think it is. There's a chance I might have said it already in a previous video. I don't really remember. But yes, you get the idea. You guys see? Yeah, you can see. Okay. So there we go. Perfect. Great. You see it. Okay, I think I have enough in me for one more stripe before I get burnt out from stripes. And I'm trying to think of a good color to use. world is filled with such a wide range of colors. So many colors across the spectrum here. Hey, cool. Hey, Brody, what's your favorite color? Pick one. What's the first color that comes to your mind? Go. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Nothing, huh? All right. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick another color then. So I was gonna do this next stripe in honor of you, but if you're not here to answer that question, then I can't really do it in honor of you. So let's find this magenta. Your profile background, it's pink, so I already have it pink. But yours is like a purple pink. Pepto-Bismol pink. I guess this might work, huh? Light magenta? You go for light magenta, right? Let me see. Yeah, I just don't want it to be too similar, but I think it's different enough. I actually had the exact color of your background, dude. How fun is that, huh? Look at this color. It's like exactly like your background. All right. So in honor of my friend Brody, the creature with long arm painter, the professional painter of creatures with long arms and legs. This color is dedicated to Brody.
How long did you boil them for?
10 minutes. Well, actually 15.
These had already been steamed for good.
I would just do it just in case. 12, 15 minutes, and then cut one open and look on the inside. All right, so here we go. You rage when you draw. Why do you rage when you draw? Raging when you do anything isn't that great, you know? Can cause a lot of issues in life. If drawing doesn't make you happy, you're doing it wrong. You're trying too hard to impress somebody. And you know what? Unless you love the emotion of rage, it's just going to make you want to quit. All right, so here we go. We're going to go with this pink. I'm going to call it Brody Pink. In honor of our friend here, Brody, who has so graciously spent some time to watch this live stream and take on the challenge of drawing 100 creatures with long arms and legs, which I haven't seen yet. I don't think you've gotten started yet. I hope you start. How come? Have you not started your project yet? It's 10:40. Well, thank you for being here at 10:40 at night. I know there's like a lot of other things that you'd probably rather be doing, like sleeping, but instead you have taken the time to spend here. And that is wonderful. You have taken the time to support an artist. Have you seen the kittens at all?
Pardon me?
Yeah.
They were in the bedroom.
Huh?
They were in the bedroom sleeping. How was that?
There's one. Where's your sister? See the sister anywhere?
No.
She in the bathroom? Oh, here she is. Okay, good. Just want to make sure they didn't get out because the thing fell. That would have been my fault. Yes, Brody, you are supporting artists. Thank you.
Here, can we look at this, please?
That looks better, yeah. Did you just tell Fern to watch out? Huh?
Watch out.
So what's going on? Let's see. So, Brody, does this look like the color that you're talking about? Yes, it does. Looking at your profile photo, it matches. How amazing is that I've saved this color? You know, it's funny. I actually don't like using this color for painting. But, so it's such a funny coincidence. Like, I've literally just been having it sit here. I'm like, what am I going to do with this color? I don't really like it for painting because it's so saturated with this like neon pink. But hey, I'm so glad that you're here because you have given me the chance to use it. You have given me a reason to use this color. And honestly, if it wasn't for you, it'd probably just be sitting here lost. Lost to the abyss of colors. Whew. All right, we're getting some progress here, dude. This is the last line. And this is an homage to Brody's Creatures. An homage. Alexa, what is the definition of homage?
An homage is a show of respect or reverence. The word homage comes from the Middle French word homage, which means reverence or favor.
Oh, is homage not a, is homage not an English word? So one thing about this brush is I keep having to flip back and forth in order to get the straight effect, because at some point along this way it gets a little too bent, so I have to rebend it in the other direction. And there we have it. So Brody, this color is for you. This stripe is a thank you for being here. And we're gonna take a break now. We are taking a break. How many did you make, babe?
It's enough.
Is enough? Okay. Just wondering.
I was hungry and then stopped. Are you still on camera?
Yeah. All right, Brody. Since you said that you're gonna make 10, I hope that the next time that I see you and I ask if you made 10 creatures, you're gonna say yes. If you say no, nothing's gonna happen, but you'll know. And there will be 10 creatures that haven't been made, which, you know, these creatures are part of your imagination waiting to come to life. Without you, these long-legged creatures, long-leg and arm creatures are not going to come to life. So it is up to you to make their lives possible. They are waiting for you, someone with an imagination like yours, to become possible. So that's the only thing that would happen, is it would never exist without you. That would be your motivation. So anyway, here we go. You'll try. Haven't you ever seen Star Wars? Do or do not. There is no try. I get it though. School first. Don't get in trouble in school and say that you're too busy drawing 10 creatures because a YouTuber said challenged you to do so, okay? Don't do that, because then you get me in trouble. And then, you know, then no one's going to be happy with that. So school first, only if you have time between school, on a break or something, or after school, should you even consider. Totally joking. I know you wouldn't do any of those things, but just for conversation's sake. With that said, thank you, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastic. This is the end of this part, and you know, the next couple days, I mean, each of these 7 lines takes about 2 hours. So I'm expecting this will take about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I think this will take about another 20 hours. Wow, this painting isn't complicated, but it's just very time consuming. I think I'm going to be working another 20 hours on this. So, you know, because it's so basic, it's probably just going to be a lot of chatting. Come here. Come here, kitty. Don't go outside. You stay in here.
Was she trying to get out?
Yes. You stay in here. Who wants to see the kitten? She's a troublemaker. A little troublemaker here. Look at a troublemaker. A little troublemaker, you. Yes. That's you. That's you right there. You troublemaker. Do you see how trouble you are? All right, good night, everybody. Take care.